And good afternoon, everybody, and welcome here to the third to last race of the season for the M&M's Cup Series, race 18 of 20 in the championship. We're down to two races after today's race, and time is starting to run out for drivers to have a chance to make it in the championship hunt. If they want to be in the title hunt to battle for a reserve ride for the Oreo Cup Series in the fall coming up, or in January, which is really important. So, yes. On the pole position, Sylvia Cunningham in the number 14 machine. Sylvia Cunningham dropped the spot down to 12th in the championship. She's still mathematically eligible, but really needs some good runs to go her way. She is alongside of Tori Gossett, who's already been eliminated from the championship. She will have a non-chartered ride. We don't know what ride she'll be in for the Oreo Cup Series, so she'll have to try to race her way in. She dropped two spots down to 26 in the points table. L Dorn in order to drop the spot down to fourth in the standings, and Jacob Foster, we didn't talk much about him. He only gained a spot to 35th in the points table. Ellie Rose will complete the top five. As you look at the rest of the lineup, Nathan Orman here for the final three races of the season, starting from the 18th position. 25 laps of racing in the Trim Spa 250 here at Pikes Peak. Let's get these cars moving as always. Don't know what kind of race we're going to expect here at Pikes Peak because we've never raced here before. That's something we're definitely going to have to get used to as far as that is concerned. As here are the points coming into today's race, the third to last race of the season. Zachy Panini still the points leader, but he lost a lot of points to M Chilton, who's 3 points back in second. Skylar Taylor, 9 points back in third. L Dorn dropped the spot down to fourth in the standings. 14 back. 16 back is L Bianchi, who's fifth. Bushy Clements, sixth. Christopher Bright, seventh. 26 and 32 points back, respectively. Ayrton D Silva, 33 back in eighth. Shane Scott, last week's winner, jumped up 9 spots to ninth in the standings, 36 back, and Aaron Crowder, 37 back, 10th in the standings. As here we go for 25 laps of racing, we're green here at Pikes Peak. This is going to be an interesting race we're going to see here today. If I haven't done so already, I'll show you the rest of the lineup, by the way. If I haven't done so. There we go. All taken care of. This track is almost like Richmond International Raceway we were just at last week. Of course, this track is in Fountain, Colorado, just outside of the city, Colorado Springs. Cheese celebration today, don't you? Patrick Winter in the first course, which had his cheese and crack cake. Of course, this series was off last week. And today being July 29th, which, by the way, I failed to mention this. I want to thank everybody for the birthday wishes as far as that is concerned. Hope everybody enjoyed the race weekend from Lime Rock, Mexico, and Hillside last weekend, and also yesterday's race at Houston, which was a demolition derby. I can tell you that for certainty. Of course, today we're racing here at Pikes Peak. Tomorrow is a critical day for a couple of drivers like Zachary Fitzwater, Skylar Taylor, and all those drivers because it's an elimination race for the Oreo Cup Series drivers at Coca-Cola with Go or Go Home qualifying at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, our elimination race, which means 4 drivers when Coca-Cola is done will be eliminated from the championship. But back here in this race, as we're looking at the rear of the field, Aaron Crowder back here at the rear of the field, that's not where he needs to be. Aaron Crowder, 10th in points. This is not where he needs to be. There's Ray Atikian, Jeremy Isley back here at the rear of the field. Bushy Clements in the 51. Ayrton De Silva. There's Cole Koibe. There's been rumors Cole Koibe could be in Oreo. I'll have to get a hold of Connor Breton. There's the points leader, Zachy Panini. This is not where he needs to be. He's back here at the rear of the field. He didn't have a good qualifying effort yesterday. He needs to start going forward. Baby CJ fell out of the top 10 in the standings last week after a poor finish at Richmond. Dropped 4 spots down to 11th. He went from 7th to 11th. 7-Eleven. That's a funny pun. All jokes aside, not where he needs to be as far as that's concerned. Skylar Taylor's back here at the rear of the field. Get back up to the 14 of Sylvia Cunningham. Sylvia Cunningham, this is the only series she's going to be in, other than possibly get a non-charter ride for the Oreo Cup Series. As we're getting set to get that series back up and going, but I've got to finish up Red Bull GT Series as far as that's concerned. As the Red Bull GT Series still need to get their race weekend or their season finished up. As we're already in August I'm already up to August for the Red Bull GT Series, so I have that to worry about. But this series, I'm going to finish it up this week as of this recording, or by the time you're watching this, it's already happened. L Dorn in second. There's Tori Gossett in third. Talked about Tori Gossett's going to get a non-charter ride in the Oreo Cup Series. For what team, we don't yet know. I know Tori is looking forward to that. She will be a rookie, by the way, in that series. There's Maxie Chilton. He's going to be driving the number 36 in the Oreo Cup Series for next season. There's Josh Harmon, going to be back in the Oreo Cup Series. There's a lot of drivers that we don't know what their plans are for next season. Cody Smart, we know, will be back in Oreo. D Gitirokh, going to be really looking forward to see what he can do in his rookie year in the Oreo Cup Series. Zachary Fitzwater, going to be great to see him back full-time. Of course, Annie Thomas was going to fill in for Fitzwater until Fitzwater was medically clear, but since Fitzwater was medically clear, that will not be an issue, and Annie Thomas will be driving the number 84 for the team's third ride in that series. So Annie Thomas going to be running more than likely the road races. There's L Contreras. There's Evelyn Marsh. It was announced today Evelyn Marsh will be going to the Oreo Cup Series. Will be joining Brandon Marsh. I'm not sure if Evelyn Marsh is like a sister to Brandon Marsh. I'll have to message Brandon about that. But nevertheless, we'll see Evelyn Marsh in the Oreo Cup Series. There's Connor Breton. There's a guy I really want to see in the Oreo Cup Series, L Bianchi. Dylan Ibrahimian, we will see him in the Oreo Cup Series. There'll be a lot of drivers we're definitely excited to see in the Oreo Cup Series, as Sylvia Cunningham's now led the entire race. Oh, may I remind you, we are caution-free, I should remind you all. A couple of people that will be racing tomorrow in the Oreo Cup Series, Skylar Taylor being one of those drivers. A couple of them are going to be more than likely in a must-win situation. Should be interesting as far as that is concerned. Want to remind everybody this copyrighted broadcast is presented by the authority of the World Racing Association, the Blue Hedgehog TV, for the private use of our audience. Any reproduction or rebroadcast or retransmit or any other disseminations or the use of this broadcast without the express written consent of the World Racing Association, the Blue Hedgehog TV, is prohibited. Blue Hedgehog TV, we want to thank you fans for your support, and we hope you enjoyed today's broadcast. Cody Smart running in 6th. Cody was recently eliminated from the playoffs in the Oreo Cup Series. Of course, he got eliminated after the first round back at Indianapolis, so he's not in the championship hunt. Josh Harmon, on the other hand, I bet he's probably going to be a nervous wreck because he comes into this race. You can go away, you stupid virus. Don't need to deal with you right now. Josh Harmon goes in tomorrow's race 18 points above the 8th position of the points cut line. So he needs a solid day, or otherwise he could be eliminated from the championship. Reggie Fogelman is 21 points below the cut line, 16 below for Daniel Witter. Annie Crenshaw, who we will see her tomorrow. And Kyler Anderson, 5 points below the cut line. So a lot can happen between now and the checker flag tomorrow for the Oreo Cup Series. And like I said, after that, we've cut our playoff grid from 16 to now the Elite 8. So hopefully Josh Harmon can get a good night's sleep. Same with Skylar Taylor. And the thing for those drivers is that if you win tomorrow, you're in the next round regardless what happens in the Elite 8. Because remember, the points will get reset after tomorrow's elimination race. As Sylvia Cunningham has been dominating this race here at Pikes Peak. I learned how to cook and start eating fish when I was in culinary school. Sylvia Cunningham looking for her first win on the year. SS Greenlight Racing also looking for their, as I need to get back on the M&M's Cup Series points. I'm on Oreo points for no apparent reason. As we're down to the final few laps of this race. Actually, SS Greenlight Racing has yet to go to victory lane this season. So Sylvia Cunningham trying to get the first win on the year for SS Greenlight Racing. Sylvia Cunningham, we expect to see her in the Oreo Cup Series. Dylan Cunningham could also be in the Oreo Cup Series. Could be a second driver. Possibly for a Toyota team. We'll have to wait and see if there's no Fords available. But here comes Rogel Dorn in the 1. Remember, Rogel Dorn's trying to make up some points after the ground he lost last week. He came in 14 points back of the points leader. Sylvia Cunningham is already ahead of Zachy Panini as we're down to 2 to go. This is going to be a battle for the win between the 1 and the 14. Neither of them have been to victory lane, the 1 and the 14. Dorn looking for his first win on the year. Sylvia Cunningham looking for her first win on the year. Both drivers looking for their first win on the year. Also trying to run down Zachy Panini for the points lead. White flag is in the air. 1 more lap to go. Sponsored by Credit One Bank. As here comes Rogel Dorn the inside. Can he make the move underneath Sylvia Cunningham? He's looking, just can't make the move. I think he's not going to get it done. Sylvia Cunningham gives SS Greenlight Racing their first win of the year. They win the Trim Spot 250 here at Pikes Peak. I'm doing a Cheeto glazed salmon, a spicy pepper soup broth with plantain. And after learning from her brother, Dylan Cunningham, little sis goes to victory lane. So Dylan Cunningham's going to be very excited about that. Same with Cody Smart. And this is big for Sylvia because she was 12th in the points. This will no doubtably put her back in the top 10 of the points leaving today. And she led the entire race from start to finish. Pole to win. Just like that in a caution-free race, which we'll take that after a wreck fest at Richmond last week. Rogel Dorn's going to get second. Good run for Rogel. He was another driver that was also trying to run down the 71 of Z Panini for the points lead, so he has done that. Done his championship hopes a lot of good. Jake Brentley, third in the third. He'll complete the podium. He really needed a good run. He's had a difficult season. This is his first top 5 of the year, 41st in points of the 41 drivers who have taken the green at every race this season. Ellie Rose came home in 4th, 31st in the points, so she'll be inside the top 30 leaving today. Cody Smart, top 5 for him in 5th. Of course, he was already eliminated from the Oreo Cup Series Championship, so not bad for the former Foster Series champ. Tori Gossett will get 6th. Good run for Tori. 26th in the points after losing 2 spots last week. This is going to help her back. Josh Harmon, 7th. Will this momentum be good for him going into the elimination race tomorrow for the Oreo Cup Series? We will have to wait and see. Everybody's favorite friend, Maxie Chilton, gets 8th. And remember, Maxie came as race 2nd in points. He was trying to run down Zachy Panini for the points lead. I think he might have just taken the points lead, regardless what happens with everybody else heading into next week at Memphis, the penultimate race of the season. Daniel Gitirokh will get 9th after the aggressive driving he did last week by wrecking cars. This week was, well, calm and clean. He was gained 2 spots to 19th in the points, so he'll be continuing to climb through the points table. And Zachary Fitzwater, a wonderful job for him. He jumped up 4 spots to 16th. He'll be inside the top 15, maybe inside the top 10 with a 10th place result. A wonderful run for the Australian, and I bet his godchild, as we call her, Annie Thomas, will be very delighted for him, and same with his wife, Henrietta Fitzwater. Of course, Fitzwater's had a really difficult year over in the Red Bull GT Series. A 10th place is really definitely what the doctor ordered for him. Lupi Contreras, GP Latero, Evelyn Marsh, Connor Breton, and Lucien Bianchi were the top 15. We're going to have to see where 15th is going to situate Lucien Bianchi after this race concludes. You look on down to the remainder of the finishing results. This is where I get a little worried about some people. All 42 drivers did finish the race. Tough break for Nathan Orman on a poor result, but the good news for Ormy, he doesn't have to worry about that because he's not in the championship hunt. He's just one of the quote-unquote all-star entries for this series, and that's basically how that's going to work. All 42 drivers did finish the race, did finish on the lead lap. No cautions, nobody DNF, nobody finished a lap down or more. But this is where I start getting worried about. Zachy Panini is going to definitely lose the points lead. So Maxie Chilton confirmed he will take the points lead heading in next week's race. Another driver who was also trying to run down Zachy Panini for the points lead, Skylar Taylor, 28th. She is definitely going to drop through the points table after today's race. Let's see, a couple of other people who needed good runs. Bushy Clements, top 10 the points. He finished in 33rd. This is not what he needed as far as that is concerned. Baby C Bracken continuing to free fall through the standings. I don't know. I think CJ Bracken could be in quote-unquote long shot territory or mathematically eliminated territory after a 38th place finish, but that's a tough break for a number of people. A lot of people inside the top 10 of the points did not have the best of runs. I can tell you that for sure. And they're definitely going to need some good results heading into the final 2 races, that being Memphis and Milwaukee. But what a calm race. Good win for Sylvia Cunningham as she gets her first win of the year. But tomorrow is going to be the race that I think all of you guys are excited about tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time because it's an elimination race for the Oreo Cup Series drivers. And we'll have 4 drivers getting eliminated from the championship as we go down to the Elite 8. And I bet you Zachary Fitzwater better be a nervous wreck because his teammate Bradley Ream is one of the 12 drivers battling for the championship over there. I bet you Legacy Motor Club going to be a nervous wreck tomorrow. I can tell you that for sure, as we'll go from 12 to 8 as far as that's concerned. But back to today's race. Congratulations to Sylvia Cunningham on the victory here today at Pikes Peak in a, well, this track still needs some work to do as far as wrecking, but nice clean racing nevertheless. At least it was passable, so you can give me the benefit of the doubt on that. But thank you all for joining me for today's race here at Pikes Peak. If you enjoyed it, be sure to give this video a like, subscribe to become part of the World Racing Association crew today. We showed your full finish results. Your point standings are down in the description with 2 races remaining in the season. It's going to be critical. I can tell you Sylvia Cunningham's going to be in contention. You can probably throw Maxie Chilton, Josh Harmon into that equation. Can't wait to see what happens. Up next, our race weekend continues. As I mentioned, our elimination race, our second elimination race for the Oreo Cup Series drivers. As we head to the beautiful Coca-Cola Super Speedways, we will go from the round of 12 to our Elite 8. And then, after that, as I pull up our racing schedule, after our second elimination race for the Oreo Cup Series at Coca-Cola, we have Trucks, Busch, and Winston Cup coming your way at the road course of Papyrus. That will be a lot of fun. And then next week, Red Bull GT Series will be at their second race of 2 in Texas. They're going to be in Fort Worth, Texas at Texas Motor Speedway, which baby CJ, Sean, and Jesse Art are going to hope for a good result. We'll have our first race of the Elite 8 at Watkins Glen. Before that, these drivers will be at Memphis at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Hope you'll join us for that race. And then Trucks, Busch, and Winston Cup will be at Watkins Glen. It's a quadruple header, as a matter of fact, for those 4 series. So we're going to have a lot of drivers at Watkins Glen, I can tell you that for sure. But we'll see you guys next time for the Memphis race on this channel. Until then, I'm D Gitirokh signing off as you've been watching another broadcast courtesy of the World Racing Association, the greatest racing since 2013.